And here we go. All the games from today will be recorded games. And we have, as a matter of fact, 3 series to go through. So, Villese versus Sitaux is going to be the first one. But then afterwards, we're going to have Doubt versus Running. And we're going to have Capuch versus Miguel for the 3rd series of the day as well. So today's stream should be anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And hopefully the series are going to be good, of course. For game number 1 of the first series, we're going to have Sitaux playing in the red color. Down the south, this is Nomad. While Villese playing with Lithuanians up in the north towards the northeast. Over here is going to be in the blue color instead. And what does that mean for us? Well, let's take a look at the civilizations. Villese, well, the Lithuanians will get 150 extra food upon starting the game. It's going to have 10% faster moving skirms, spearline units, and in addition to that, the Lithuanians also have 1 extra attack on knights and light units per each relic garrison up to 4 relics, up to 4 attack, up to +4. For the team bonus, the civilization from Villese is also going to get 20% faster working monasteries, so the monks come out a little bit quicker, and technology is researched that faster, right? That much faster. For Sitaux civilization, the Malians. What do we get for the Malians? We're gonna have for the red player civilization 30% longer lasting golds, as well as 1 extra pierce armor on back units per age for free. Starting in the Fuel Age, can go up to +3 pierce armor in the Imperial Age, and this is without taking into account, of course, any of the blacksmith upgrades. Besides that, Malians will also have, in addition to all of this, for Sitaux, he is going to get a 15% wood discount on buildings, and for the team bonus, universities will be working 80% faster. So, that being said, Malians versus Lithuanians, this is a matchup that I don't think we have seen too much of. We have seen Malians, certainly, or Nomad quite a lot. We have seen Lithuanians, Nomad, a little bit as well. I don't think we have seen necessarily Malians versus Lithuanians too many times, but I would probably be favoring the Lithuanians over here. Mostly because of the extra food makes for a little bit of a smoother early water play. Interestingly enough though, Villese is actually a little bit later to it. If you take a look, he's got only 1 fishing ship. He's going for the second one, while Sitaux is not only 1 villager ahead, but he also already has a second fishing ship over here. So once again, the civilizations do have an impact for sure, but it's not going to be the end-all be-all that a lot of people assume they are, right? It's going to be a whole lot more about the players and execution and whatnot, and especially on a map like Nomad, which is pretty heavy on the RNG. Like, a lot of things can happen. If we take a look, for instance, at Villese's DC location over here, he's found a beautiful little nook right next to the wood line. So he's going to have all the wood over here completely safe. Then he's got 1 goal on the right hand side and 1 stone on the right hand side. There is another goal though towards the southeast, but that one's going to be very far away. And there is another stone towards the northwest, but that one is also going to be kind of inaccessible. Not really inaccessible, but he's going to have to go around the wood line to access that one. So it's good for wood over here for Villese, but not so much in terms of access to minerals. Well, if we take a look at Sitaux, it seems like he does have a little bit easier access to minerals, with the stone being on the left hand side and not too far away. Meanwhile, the gold is going to be towards the south and not too far away. He does have a couple of wood lines though to collect from. This one right next to the TC, of course, and then there is this one towards the southeast and this one towards the northwest. The southwest, rather. There's another goal on the left hand side, another goal on the right hand side, so he will have access to extra resources. Those are going to be just a little bit farther away. But yeah, the Lithuanians, they're an incredible civilization. Early on, with the extra resources, they can get so much done. And then when you take a look at what the late game looks like for the Lithuanians as well, it's really good. It's really good because it's gonna allow you, with the 10% fast moving skirmishers and the halberdier plus tower shields, that's going to allow you to get a very, very smooth late game as well, especially when resources are kind of yeah, you know, as long as you run out of gold in the map, or at the very least are put in a position where gold is not available to you, then it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, these games are being shown for the first time today, but we're not going to enable prediction. There aren't really a lot of people around right now, so we are just going to stick to the games for the time being. Beautiful. We're also really going down. Second board over there for Sitaux. Villese, on the other hand, up in the north. Oh, he's getting spotted though by Sitaux. Check this out. Yes. Now, the red player knows exactly where Sitaux is. If we take a look at Sitaux's scouted information, he knows where... we take a look at Vilese's scouted information, sorry. We know that he knows where Sitaux is, so... Now the FLH is here. Both players know about one another. Mixed them up over there for a second, but... yeah. Market Blacksmith on the way. Sitaux's going for a fast castle approach. Villese. Not too much. He's got 2 docks producing galleys. And Sitaux, because he's you know, on the opposite side of the map, he's gonna be fine over here fishing for the time being. He's stuck to just 1 dock. So Villese should be on his way to the castle age much later compared to Sitaux, and Sitaux will be there so much earlier. What is the plan over here though? That's what I'm wondering. Sitaux's going to have a few options over here. As usual, you get to the castle age faster, you can go for extra TCs and start getting ahead. Right. Additionally, you can also get to the castle age and start putting more pressure against your opponent, especially if they are much later to the castle age. They will be going up with a stronger economy than you did when you clicked up to the castle age, so there is a risk in going for a push if it's not going to work, or if your opponent's already halfway out to the castle age and you spend a bunch of resources going for something like a 4 siege workshop, monasteries, or something like that, and then your opponent gets to the castle age and goes for immediately extra TCs, right? It can actually backfire if you're trying to go for aggression. So Villese is gonna get the walls up over here, try to prevent Sitaux from doing any damage, right? Putting any pressure, and if Villese gets a house over here, a palisade, you get a palisade, he's going to prevent Sitaux from coming in all together. He's trying to, but he cannot. However, he does spot Vilese's, Vilese's villager does spot Sitaux's villager moving forward though, so at the very least this is not really going to result in anything from Sitaux, and Villese in any case should be in a position to defend himself until he gets to the castle age. At the very least he's counting the walls up over here. The only way for Sitaux to get to Vilese's side of the map would be around the left hand side through the shallows or through the water. Here come the galleys from Villese. He's got 7 right now. Meanwhile, Sitaux is going for the war galley upgrade. He's got 2 galleys, 2 fire galleys out right now. The war galley upgrade is going to be absolutely instrumental. It's got to be careful though. That is enough galleys from Villese to take on the fire galleys over here. There's only 2, and one of these is very low HP. There you are. Yeah, Sitaux's able to hold on now, going for extra fire galleys as well, fire ships right now. Sitaux is in a right spot. Second TC is coming out right now for Sitaux as well. Meanwhile, Villese keeps on chasing the red villager around. Sitaux isn't likely to get too much done over here. Just getting some scouting information, and right now it's going around the wood line. He doesn't know that Villese is necessarily here, but he should expect it. Now he sees an Ibex down, so yeah. That's probably as clear a telltale as you can get of your opponent's location. Sitaux does have the second TC already though, coming up, and he's kind of monastery on the way as well. If he could go for a third TC, that'd be ideal. I know that he is planning on going for it, otherwise he would have sold the stone over here, and he does have it still, so once he gets enough wood, he's gonna go for that sweet third TC, and then Villese. Yeah, Villese is gonna be in a rough position, right? He's going after the castle age, but by the time he gets there, Sitau's already going to have a significant villager lead. Hey, Dan the Man's great. Hi, hi. Hope you're doing alright. Hope everything's going well for you. There he goes. Wow, and thank you for the support. 5 months, more than half of a pregnancy. Yeah, already past 4.5 months. We are over halfway through to that Twitch baby, as it's called. Thank you so much for the support. Coming in hot, 5 months as tier 1. It's very much appreciated. Welcome back. Beautiful. There we go. Finally, Sitau's villager is going down. One more hit, and she's dead. Villese gets to the castle age, and Sitaux has not gotten the third TC up yet. Well, Villese immediately goes for the second TC. No third TC coming up yet for Villese at this point in time, and Sitaux already has the resources to go for a third TC. Where is he going to go for it though? Let's take a look at the scouting information he's got. Yeah, he knows where a bunch of the resources are, so for the red player, getting a TC up around this area should be actually pretty good. He'll be able to defend the goal, he'll be able to defend the wood line as well. Potentially get access to the berries, although I don't think that's going to matter too much. The engagement should be going in favor of Villese for sure. He's got the war galleys. Still has a respectable... Oh, Michiel over there, but that is not good. The unit formation kind of backstabbed Villese. In a sense over there. Certainly was not what he was trying to go for. Ended up losing several of the war galleys for free. And the thing is, even if those war galleys were low HP, so long as he was able to keep those alive, and that's another one going down. That would have been really good for Villese, right? He would still be able to get damage output from those units from behind, so long as he had a meat shield. And that is a nice damage shot! But Villese is starting to run low on numbers. Sitaux is looking very strong, but needs to go back and try to regroup, as right now he doesn't really have too many units left forward. And it seems like Sitau's gonna try to start putting some pressure. This is something that we saw from Sitaux actually in the past, and something that I was probably not the biggest fan. Hey, Flower and Dancer. Hi, welcome. And that is simply the fact that Sitaux is not really committing too much of anything. He's got some monks, he's got Redemption, which he already finished researching. He's got Atonement and Sanctity that are coming up. And it seems as if he's gonna try and commit to the monks, but then at the same time he was going for navy, and then at the same time he was going for economy, and it's like he's just trying to throw everything and see what sticks, and that is more often than not really going to result in, yeah, a good position for you, right? If we take a look at the right hand side, we'll see that Villese went immediately for 3 TCs. He's got double monasteries over here, so it's going to be economy and monks, but he's going to try and prioritize economy. And once he gets enough to keep all 3 TCs working, of course, he can start focusing on the military aspect of it for sure. Right now, he does have a good amount of villagers in the gold already. And he's got some monks queued up, so it's going to become a clown race over here. A full monk war between both these players. But yeah, Villese shouldn't really struggle too much to not only catch up in work count, but eventually get ahead in work count compared to Sitaux as well. So let's take a look. So the conversion's coming up already, and Sitaux's got atonement already. He's got redemption. There is nothing that Villese can go for right now. The Sitaux's not gonna be able to convert other than fortifications. Let's see the market being targeted. And you gotta love this. But there's a conversion coming up though! As Villese gets one of the monks from Sitaux, Sitaux gets one of the monks from Villese. Tries to get the monk back that he got converted from Villese, and Villese immediately deletes it. So overall, Villese has lost 2 monks over here, while Sitaux has lost for the most part just 1. And while Villese is collecting some of the relics, right, and he's playing Lithuanians, going for Doll Monastery over here, seems fine. It doesn't necessarily need to be for full monk. It can also be just to collect the relics, but he does have a 3rd monastery coming up, so we know that this is full monk play from the bull player. But yeah, Sitaux already has all the upgrades he needs. Villese, not so much. Not so much, my dude. Hey, Balkan Arrow. Let's see. My friend said that they were waiting for a significant other to visit Paris. Why do they need a sea challenger to visit Paris? Yeah, I actually think the first time that I ever saw significant other abbreviated like that, like the acronym, I immediately assumed that meant sea challenger, and I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense in this context. I had no idea what that meant the first time that I ever saw that. Yeah, the same reason why every time that I say 11 to my friends, they're like, what? 11 what? This is your vampire stuff, man. BBC, anyone? Anyway, the monks just wrecking all sorts of havoc around Villese's base in Sitaux. Sitaux's been able to keep up with population. Take a look at that, 78, 80 villager count over here. Villese, yeah, he's starting to pull ahead in villager count, but by having 3 TCs for this much time, you would expect him to already be on the lead, and it's not been the case. Sitaux's push over here has been fantastic. I mean, take a look at the idle TC time. So much higher for Villese. Sitaux might have been on only 2 TCs, but he was able to keep them working for the most part, and yeah, it's certainly starting to be a struggle for Villese right now. And if Sitaux gets away with the castle, that one is going to target at least one of the TCs. He doesn't really right now have fletching and bulking arrow. Once he gets those, he'll be able to target both TCs with a single castle. And there we go. The cats comes up. This is absolutely beautiful. A lot of the monks are going down now from Villese as well. Not great. He's forced into a 4TC simply by fact of losing access to this one. And once again, once we get back in arrow for Sitaux, Villese could very well end up losing this TC as well. Although to be fair, he might not need to go for Balkan Arrow because he's got the siege already, right? So he takes this one down, and so long as Villese doesn't have anything to defend the TC with, Sitaux should be able to go over and take this one down as well. Here we go. Fantastic, 2 stables coming in for Mr. Sitaux, so it's gonna start putting some extra pressure on Villese. Villese is going up to the Imperial Age. I am not really sure about this. If he was playing defensive and Sitaux hadn't managed to do as much damage as he did, if he hadn't forced Villese into the extra TCs, into migrating around the map like this, then yeah, maybe going up to the Imperial Age would have been good, as Villese, if he gets enough. If he survives long enough to get to the Imperial Age, right, then he would be able to go for the trebuchets, take the castle down, and remove the pressure from Sitaux. But the problem is Sitaux has already gotten damage done with this push. So going up to the Imperial Age over here is removing resources from Villese's reserves that he could have used instead to go for a stronger defense, right? So there's a second castle coming out for Sitaux. He's finally going for the third TC. Meanwhile, Villese spent, at the very least, we know, with 1, 2, 3 additional TCs coming up. We know that he has invested well over 700 resources, well over 800 resources into just trying to stay alive. Here comes Sitaux, and Villese tries to get the quick walls up, but he's not going to be able to do it. So now the monks are going to get targeted in the light cover. They cannot take the monks. They will take villages at the very least. Although the castle's there, he cannot stick around for very long. Trying to stay in the light cover elsewhere, and he might be able to get a bunch of villager kills over here in the end. We'll see if Villese's reaction is appropriate. The monks got protected by garrison them inside the TC and the castle, but yeah, Sitau's going up to the Imperial Age right now. He's got the third castle on the way in Villese. He got to the Imperial Age, interestingly enough, on a comparable worker count because of all the extra TCs, and Sitau's push over here doesn't seem like it was fast enough. He does have, though, on the left-hand side, a lot of the light cavalry are roaming around from Sitaux. He's going to start putting pressure not only on the right-hand side, but also on the left-hand side. And he's forcing a lot of either villager time from Villese. Let's take a look at the worker efficiency. In the last minute, interestingly enough, it's been higher for Villese, actually. And let's check the gather economy time. It is higher for Sitaux, yes. It is higher for Sitaux, and he's catching up in worker efficiency in the last minute as well. Interesting to see for sure. Villese has certainly been able to survive over here for a very long time. He does manage to get the one trebuchet out, however, with the ram still alive from Sitaux, Villese cannot make use of his units, so it's only going to be 1 more minute until the red player gets to the Imperial Age, and he's able to start pumping trebuchets because he's got 3 castles compared to only 1 from Villese. Sitau's gonna be able to outproduce the blue player significantly. This is one of the things why I was not the biggest fan of Villese going up. You can see how Sitaux on a comparable economy delaying the Imperial Age was able to get a bunch of extra fortifications up as well, and he's not going to be quite as susceptible to raids because of it. He's going to be able to outproduce Villese for trebuchets once he gets to the Imperial Age, and that's only going to be 5 seconds away. 1 syllable at a time. Gotta go fast! And there we go, Imperial Age is here. Sitaux is going for trebuchets right away. He's got the trebuchets coming out from the castles on the right hand side. Does not have a trebuchet coming out for the castle on the left hand side, and Villese is now starting to go for the first time for the castle on the left hand side himself. Here come the Rams, here come the monks. It's gonna be a battle of fate, and it seems like Villese is getting the best end of the deal. He's getting 2 monks converted over there, and with the converted monks, now he's going after additional units from Sitaux, who ends up losing 1 additional monk over there in the end of the trebuchets. The trebuchets from Villese did take a lot of damage over there. Now there is only 1 left, and you know what? We have 7 villagers from Sitaux, so he should be able to keep this castle up for as long as he's got resources to repair it with. Because he's got still extra castles compared to Sitaux, he should be in a... compared to Villese, sorry, he should be able to outproduce the blue player. And he's going actually for bombard cannons. He's not going to go for any extra trebuchets. Meanwhile, Villese does have access to bombard cannons, but has not gotten chemistry yet, so he cannot go for it. That once again goes to show, right? All the extra resources Villese had to spend into expanding around the map after Sitau's push on the right hand side was quite successful means that he was unable to use the resources in the way that Sitaux has, of going for extra castles, of going for chemistry, of getting access to bombard cannons, and now It's looking rough, guys. Villese, 8 military units compared to 25 from Sitaux, over 3 times the military count for the Frenchman. Villese, on the other hand, he is on 175 workers versus 112. There we go. There you are. So far, so good. Fantastic. Extra castle on the way now for Sitaux as well. Nice conversions and beautiful push coming up. Ruin. The left hand side for Mr. Sitaux while Villese. Yeah, Villese is struggling to defend himself over here. 2 bombard cannons from Sitaux. Gotta pay attention though. Does not want to fight underneath the castle, but it seems like he's going to do it anyway. It's got a lot of pikemen, a lot of Lucho over here. Where are the bombard cannons though going? I think he ended up losing one. No, he's got them here. He's just not making use of them for some reason. Yeah, he needs to target the castle. He's probably paying attention to the right hand side instead. And we'll see the conversions coming up. A lot of light cavalry on the way now for Villese trying to defend himself. A lot of pikemen over here as well for the top, but he's not getting the units in the right position at the right time. So a lot of these monks do end up going down. And even though the red players most likely are not going to end up taking all the light cavalry down, he ended up losing a lot of the monks over there, so it was not cost effective. Once again though, it's all about momentum over here for Sitaux. So long as he's able to get at the very least as many units coming out at a time as Villese is able to, that should put Sitaux in a better position because he's got momentum right now. He is the one with the stronger military, so when both players are going for a comparable amount of units, the player with the most units is still going to come out on top, assuming that we don't see Sitaux throw the fights too much, right? And earlier that engagement was not the most cost effective, but it doesn't matter. He still managed to retain the momentum over there as Villese calls the GG. Sitaux is up 1-0 against the Finnish man. Let's go through the achievements really quickly before we jump into game number 2. And before we do so, we're also gonna have to, there we go, update the draft information. Better than 1-to-1 K ratio for Sitaux, about 11 to 10 for resources. We have a stronger economy for Sitaux compared to Villese. For society, on the other hand, we're gonna have for villagers a higher villager max count for Villese over here, and that's going to be about it. So well done. Let's go back. Once again, let's hop into the new game. There we are. Game number 2. Bohemians versus Turks for Villese and Sitaux respectively. Villese is up in the north. Sitaux is down the south. They're playing the blue and red colors respectively. And for civilizations, Villese civilization first, the Bohemians, will get free mining camp upgrades. In addition to that, we're going to see for the Bohemians, they get 25% higher bonus damage from spearline units against enemy units. The Bohemians will also give Villese A 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities. In addition, right time, no bets. Hey, CD. I'm really sure there are enough people to get the bets going. Let me try. Alright, we're gonna enable bets for the next 5 minutes, guys, for who gets game number 1, alright? And option 1 is gonna be Villese, as he's playing in the blue. And option 2 is gonna be Sitaux. And if we have enough people participating in the bets, then we can keep them rolling for the rest of the series. But yeah, from now and for the next 5 minutes, you're gonna have the ability to use your channel points to get the predictions going as to who you think is going to win game number 2. So we were talking about the Bohemians, we talked about the mining cap upgrades, we talked about the spearmen, about the wood discount and buildings. They also have access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the castle age, in addition to the fact that the sanctity and fervor upgrades affect villagers in addition to just monks. The team bonus, on the other hand, for the Bohemians will be 80% faster work in markets, not necessarily the most relevant bonus for a 1v1 context, but still can be quite good. Sitaux playing with Turks, on the other hand, the Frenchman's gonna have over here a bunch of bonuses. He's gonna have a gold civilization as well. And what to expect for the Turks? They get 25% faster working gold miners. In addition to that, Turks will also get the light cavalry and hussar upgrades for free. They're gonna have... There we go. The hussar upgrades, light cavalry upgrades for free. They're gonna have 1 extra pierce armor on those units. They get 25% faster training, or extra HP rather, on gunpowder units. The team bonus is going to be 25% faster training gunpowder units. And then they get chemistry for free and a 50% discount on gunpowder upgrades. For the map generation, on the other hand, let's take a look at, Vilese's map generation first. So for the bull player, he's gonna get the main goal on the back, and that is absolutely beautiful. If you're going to have one of these resources on the back, you want it to be the main gold. Secondary one's gonna be forward, very close to the walls though, so this could very well get spotted by the red player. And then we have the main stone on the back, and the secondary resource, of course, those are going to be out. The rest of the secondary resource will be outside. Of course, we have the secondary gold outside the walls, we have the secondary stone outside the walls towards the south. And if we take a look at Sitaux's map generation, on the other hand, we'll see that the red player, he's got the main goal on the back as well, so it's very similar to what we saw from Villese. On the left hand side, we're gonna see also the secondary goal very close to the wall, so it's a very consistent and fair map generation where the players will get the resources placed in a very similar manner, right? So the secondary goal over here for Sitaux will be just as exposed as the secondary goal is from Villese. And then the stone, the main stone is going to be on the back for the red player, the secondary resources outside the walls, of course. It's worth noting though that because of the stone location over here being so close to the gold, that means that if Villese realized by, you know, just scouting alongside the wall over here, if he saw this gold, we could very well see for the bull player something like this, right? He could go, and it doesn't even need to be like this. It can also be the castle like over here. A castle over here in front of the gates would be good enough for the bull player to deny. These resources, the gold, the stone, and this gold, that'll be 3 out of 5 resources completely out of reach for the red player if Villese was to get away with something like this. And if we take a look at Sitaux's map generation on the other hand, it's a similar situation, right? Like the red player could get vision of this gold, and if it did so, then he could go for a castle probably around here, and not on top of the walls, of course, but a castle around this location would be fantastic for him to deny 3 out of 5 resources as well. Still going up on 23 workers. 23 population rather, 22 workers. Not collecting any stone whatsoever, so he's playing for a later game over here as opposed to something like Castle Drop Janissaries. He's gonna go for 2 extra TCs. And Villese on the... Is he actually? Yeah, he's going to go for that. And Villese on the other hand, he's going up on a little bit of a stronger economy right now. He's got 1 extra worker. Not great, hard to say, but the gate has 6 line of sight. Villese might see the outside stone from the start. I don't think so. But let's take a look. Oh, well, I mean... Yeah, he scouts anyway. Oh, Sitaux? The outside stone. This one? Oh yeah, that one for sure. He sees it. And then the players scout, right? So it's gonna be fine. I've been mixing the players up for game number 1 for quite a lot. Because I don't know, for some reason I was expecting Sitaux to be playing the blue color, even though I have had him in the red color most often than not. For whatever reason, my brain just decided to short circuit today. Anyway. Let me see if I think we have a schedule to update. Yes, we do. So if you do exclamation mark schedule, now you should get the schedule updated. Castle Age is coming up now for both these players, and oh, Sitaux sending villagers 4. This is going to be a castle drop. Yes, it's not going to be for economy. It's my bad. It's my bad. He made the transition a little bit later in Villese. On the other hand, he will be playing for economy by the looks of it. Yeah. Well, this could be really good. Let me take a look at Sitaux's scouting information to see what he knows. And that is the thing though, once again, he's got no idea about the resources from Villese. And Villese is kind of buying himself some time over here. Sitaux's just gonna drop the castle, whatever. And he sees a stone over here, so at the very least he knows he'll be able to deny at the very least 1 resource. But of course, it doesn't really matter right now. If Sitaux is able to breach through over here, come in with a few Janissaries, like it doesn't matter, right? He can still push. Villese away from both these goals just by getting a few Janissaries over here. Vilese's got into the castle age. He's got some stone walls coming up, which will eat into his stone reserves, so he'll be able to go for only 1 extra TC. Now that he had the wood to go for a 30 TC right away, right? But now he's going for a monastery as well, so he's gonna try and put up some defenses against the Janissaries and Sitaux. Sitaux's micro is gonna have to be on point. Those Janissaries will be lower range than the monks, but extremely deadly. Yeah, and it's just a stone that is denied over here, none of the golds yet. But of course, it's still able to break through over here, count past the bastion, so to say. Should be able to push any potential gold miners away from these resources, right? Here we go. He's breaking in right next to the market though. That's cheap damage he can do there. Yeah. He can breach through the market, can potentially take the barracks, the blacksmith down, those are there. And yeah, Villese has already managed to get 1 conversion over here. Sitaux is not like he had a lot of Janissaries to work with. So this is really good. This is what I was talking about. Sitaux needs to be wary of the potential for monks, even though he managed to get the monk down. He ended up losing the Janissary anyway. And if he's going to stick to 1 TC full push, then he needs to mass the units. He needs to hold on to his military count over here if he's ever hoping to get the pressure to work. Once again though, Oh, the counter conversion comes in, and the monk goes down from Villese. Nicely played by Sitaux. As the monasteries too, a nice boon to help with the slowly created unit. Yeah. Wait, what? What do you mean faster monasteries? That's not Lithuanians. I mean, this is not Lithuanians. They don't get faster monasteries. Yeah. For a moment over there, I was like, hold on. %80 faster markets. Yes. Beautiful second castle right now from Sitaux. This one will still not have enough range though to deny this gold. How much do we have left for Villese? You should have a substantial amount of gold anyway, still, right? Yeah, for 1,000 or so. But it doesn't matter. Even if the castle itself does not range this, the units that Sitaux is going for do range the gold. And if he breaches through over here past the market or the blacksmith or the barracks, he will be able to send the unit straight into the economy from Villese. So it's definitely not a good position for the bull player, even if the castle doesn't reach the resource necessarily. Still, it's gonna be also the player collecting the relics. This is the third relic he's going for. The fourth and fifth relics will be down the south. Does come in. He has to do it. Yes, he's sticking to 1 TC. He needs to get a good amount of units and get an extra castles to go for extra Janissaries is probably as good as he can go for his economy right now. Nice conversions though coming in from Villese. Sitaux's gonna try to go up to the Imperial Age. Yes, Villese will go up with a much stronger economy. However, at a comparable time. Yeah, no 30C for Villese either, right? He's committed to just a double TC, and the defense has been good. If Villese manages to get to the Imperial Age at the same time as Sitaux, at the very least, he'll be able to go for trebuchets at the same time. Of course, if Sitaux goes for a 4 siege workshop, he'll be in a position to start going for bombard cannons right away, while Villese won't. So it should still be favored in Sitaux, assuming that he's able to afford the units that he wants to go for. But yeah, Villese at the very least is not completely dead yet, going up to the Imperial Age, which many players probably would find themselves. Against a push like Sitaux's. Yeah, Villese's hybrid approach over here, monks and second TC economy, has been really good. Oh, right, he can do chemistry going up. You're correct, the Bohemians, true. He does have to pay for it, but he does have a stronger economy as well. Wheelbarrows coming in. Of course, Sitaux's eco upgrades are nowhere near as good as Villese's. Yeah, the siege workshop's coming up, so never mind. He can go for chemistry while going up, so completely forgot about that for a moment. Both players will be getting access to bombard cannons right away, and we have the siege workshop coming in for Sitaux as well. Both these players. That's going to leave us the only difference over here between both these players. In terms of military production potential, the fact that Sitaux's got 2 castles to work with versus Villese's single castle. But of course, with bombard cannons coming out and Villese's economy being stronger, the possibility of Huvnitsa as well is going to lower. The potential for damage for trebuchets, of course, is going to lower the threat from trebuchets. And we have just a 1. Okay, there we go. Second siege workshop is there. Meanwhile, we have a single siege workshop though for Villese. So now the same situation we had for castles is going to be reflected in siege workshops as well, and bombard cannon production, right? 2 siege workshops over here for Sitaux, and he's going for 2 trebuchets and 2 bombard cannons, while Villese is going for 1 treb and 1 bombard cannon. He does have block printing on the way though, something that Sitaux does not get access to with Turks. So Villese should be in an even better position to get the conversions going. Not only against Janissaries, but even against Bombard Cannons. With block printing, those monks go already up to 12 range. And without artillery, there is no way that the Bombard Cannons over there are going to work. And that is one Bombard Cannon getting converted. And Vilese's unit control has been fantastic. His reaction time has been on point as well. We still see the Bombard Cannon from Sitaux, but he cannot really get away from the castle because of the monks. It's really, really good. Now, Villese is going for Theocracy. I'm not really sure if he used the Fate of all the monks. No, he got the conversion with 3 monks, so he can still use 2. But once he gets Theocracy, the conversions are going to be a lot more efficient. The group conversions are going to be a lot more efficient. It seems like Sitau's push over here is starting to dwindle. It seems like he's running out of steam. It seems like everything's falling apart as a castle. It's very likely to fall down right now. Sitaux is losing one of his 2 fortifications. He's unable to get any damage done. The Janissaries are getting converted. The Bombard Cannons are getting targeted. And Sitau's very strong push over here does not manage to disrupt Villese as much as he would have liked. Sitaux could have played this for the very late game too. He took a shot and missed it. Looks like, but it was a bad strategy. That's what I thought he was going for. I thought he was going to try to go for economy and play this for the later stages, but he decided to go for the full push over here. And I mean, of course, he's not called a GG, but this is looking very, very one-sided right now. Extremely rough for the red player. And even though we have 5 Bombard Cannons over here from Sitaux, there is always the possibility for Villese to go for Huvnitsa. There is always the possibility for Villese to get the conversions against the Bombard Cannons now that he's got block printing, right? And like, what does Sitaux have? He doesn't have artillery, so these are going to be the same range as the monk. Want to see crumbles for Villese? That's good for Sitaux. Oh, but the shot immediately rips the GG out of Sitau's fingers, and oh my lord, that's gotta be one of the most satisfying shots that you have ever seen. Let's go back and check it out one more time in slow motion. Take a look at that. 5 Bombard Cannons. Pow! That one does not connect. And then here he comes. Villese turns around. We gotta watch this in slow motion. And bang! 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 Oh! The satisfaction. Well played. Let's go through the achievements. We'll have for military a better KD ratio for Sitaux. It's going to be better than 3-2 in the end. For economy, we have a stronger economy for Villese. In the end, collecting about 9,000 extra resources. For society, we have a higher villager count for Villese, higher villager max count as well. And he ended up taking the fewest villager losses. Not to say that this was particularly heavy in villager losses for either player. We had 3 villager losses for Sitaux, 2 for Villese, not too much. And BM is going to be somewhat comparable as well, so well done. And Villese, yeah, closes this one with a bang. That's going to equalize the series. Let's go back and update the draft. And we are off to the last game of the first series of the day. Fantastic, Sitaux. Playing with the Chinese on the left-hand side as the red color. Villese playing with the Poles. The right-hand side in the blue color. We'll enable predictions for game number 3 as well, given that there was participation for game number 2. So predictions for game number 3 are on right now for the next 5 minutes. Option 1, Villese. Option 2, Sitaux. You can predict with your channel points who you think is going to win. So what is with the matchup here? Holes for Villese. It's a very interesting civilization choice here. especially given the what can be seen as somewhat limited space to work with on top of the Acropolis. It doesn't seem as if the poles might be this might be the best map for them, but we'll see. Villese Civilization is going to get 5, 10, 15, 20 HP regeneration per minute on villagers, depending on the age. On top of that, we also have for Villese, for the economy, right, access to full work. He will get, with the poles, in addition to all of that, 0.33% or 0.33, sorry, units of gold generated for each unit of gold that he mines. In addition to that, for the team bonus, the poles will get 1 bonus damage from Scotland units against archer units. Sitaux playing with the Chinese will instead get 3 extra villagers upon starting the game. He's gonna have, in addition to that, 5 extra line of sight and 5 higher population support per TCs. He does begin with fewer resources though, because of the extra villagers. But then he also gets 10, 15, and 20% cheaper upgrades in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Age as well. For the team bonus, the Chinese finally get 10% extra food on farms for free. Yes, these games were played privately, so the recs were not available. The way that it works, the way that TTL works is that players do have the option of streaming their point of view as long as they play the games live on one of the assigned time slots from the tournament. If they don't, then recorded games are used instead, and the games I played are played privately. And I think it's good. I think it's a good solution. And I love to see how the tournaments keep on evolving. And one tournament's going to innovate in one way, another tournament's going to innovate in another way, and then all the subsequent tournaments are going to adopt all the new best practices, so to say. So now it's very common to see neutral maps after Return of the Clans last year, right? Using the system that we had for Return of the Clans. It's very common to see, you know, map poles, map categories, very similar to what we had for Terra Nova, for the low elo cups. We have seen that also being used for something like Warlords, for instance, in a little bit of a different fashion by adapting the maps by map types as opposed to regions or anything like that. But yeah, mutually exclusive regions, right, or map groups. And now we are getting this, and this is going to be mostly on the administrative side of things, where you make a concession, right? As a player, do you want to cast live and be able to stream your point of view while you're gonna be playing in one of the assigned time slots, so that everybody can see, like the casters can provide their point of view as well, and nobody kind of gets ahead in that sense, right? Like, for instance, if the players stream their point of view and then T90 was only able to cast the Rex during his streaming time, somebody could come into the chat and really spoil the series or something like that. So it can be very important. Regardless though, guys, 1 minute 15 seconds left for you to get your predictions going. Option 1, Villese. Option 2, Sitaux. You can use your channel points for who you think is going to win over here. It's a very interesting matchup. And yeah, we already talked about the civilizations. Let's take a look at the maps. They are not going to make too much of a difference unless somebody gets an atrocious map generation. But for the most part, an Acropolis is going to be pretty consistent. So we have 2 golds. One down the south, one up the north. Both of these are going to be kind of side-ish for Villese. And then the stone's going to be up in the north as well, kind of side-ish for Villese. The other stone is very far away. Taking a look at the left-hand side, we're going to see also for Sitaux that he actually does have both these golds on the left-hand side, so it's kind of side-ish for him as well. But this one is a little bit more on the back. So you could try to collect from this one, maybe just secure it like this, going for some walls just towards the TC, right? He doesn't need to go for walls all around the Acropolis. So something like that could potentially work. I'll take a look at this though. Villese is coming in with a bunch of villagers. He's going up on 20. 3 population to the fuel age, and Sitaux's gotten there on 22 population earlier. Villese is trying to go for a Trush, a Minotaur's Trush. He's got the 3 militias. No Minotaur's upgrade yet though. But he's gonna tower up, and Sitau's reaction has been beautiful. He's going for his own tower immediately and bringing villagers over. If he can target the villagers from... it seems like he's gonna be able to. If he can target the villagers from Villese, might be able to prevent the tower, but the tower does come up in the end. Now it's going to be Sitaux, the one in peril over here, as the villagers get targeted by Villese instead. One village goes down already from Sitaux, and Villese walks back home. He took a little bit of damage, but he was able to keep all the villagers alive, while Sitaux ended up losing the only villager over there. I think Poles are very strong on this map. Not this way though. The Poles should always be skipped in this game. Same as Bretons. Damage will be healed. Yeah, somewhat, right? So the first villager and the only villager to go down this game is going to be one of Sitau's, because he did begin already with extra villagers, and we can see that the LTC time is about the same for both these players. It doesn't matter in the end. Sitaux with the Chinese is bound to get more idle TC time naturally compared to other civilizations, but because Villese also struggled to keep going himself, you can see that, yeah, Sitaux still retains a nice villager lead over here. Interestingly enough though, let me take a look. Yeah, 2 additional villagers for Sitaux. Yeah, Villese seems to be able to keep up pretty well overall. But Sitaux is pretty much unaffected by the villager going down over there. Oh, the damage to Villese's villagers, yeah, they will generate in the end, so it's not the biggest deal. And Sitaux, yeah, because of the extra LTs done from Villese, yeah, it doesn't really get affected by the villager going down, right? It's gonna be fine himself. Properly universal healthcare. Continuing on the saga of where the hell I'm going to move. Yesterday I was taking a look at the cost of living of several cities, and like honestly, it doesn't seem like, according to Numbeo anyway, once again, it's not a website that I trust too much, because I found it to be somewhat inaccurate for Argentina, but I figure because Argentina's USD to Rs exchange rate is misleading, because the official is not really, it doesn't really translate into the actual cost of living. But it did say that for Denmark, Austria, and Germany, depending on which cities you move to, it's like almost the same. Belgium as well. Austria, Germany, Belgium, Denmark, even Netherlands seem to have somewhat comparable cost of living, depending on which cities you choose precisely, right? It's not going to be so much about the country at large. Move to India. Oh boy, I'm trying to avoid the heat. Well, one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most though. Oh, maybe not so much avoid the heat as at the very least have proper stations. Not stations, seasons. Have proper seasons, right? Here it's like summer all year long, and then winter is going to be a little bit of a milder summer, and it sucks. Channel is accounted the most expensive country in the EU. Norway? Finland? Is that so? I thought Norway was more expensive. Beautiful push coming in from Villese. He's got still the militias. He's never gone for the Manatar's upgrade, but there is a counter push coming in though, up in the north with the archers. But Vilese's got skirmishers, so his response has already been very appropriate. And take a look at this quick walls though. From Mr. Sitaux, trying to trap the skirmishers over there. He's unable to do so. Oh, Norway's not in the EU. Go figure. You learn something new every day. Is it in the Schengen area, by the way? Let me know. That's going to be the kind of limiting factor for me. Another village goes down already from Sitaux. He does manage to push the units away from Villese for the most part. Villese does get a tower up behind the old line from Sitaux, so he gets to push Sitaux away, and now the red player doesn't really have access to efficient wood. He does manage to go up to the castle age, he does manage to bring the villages back onto the Acropolis, and he will be collecting wood from here, but this is not going to be quite as effective. It is in Schengen, thank you Thorwin. And I'm not necessarily moving to Belgium, by the way. I was just considering the countries that spoke German because, well, Netherlands and Denmark, I know that's not going to be the case, but yeah, we were just mentioning those yesterday. Or 2 days ago, rather, sorry. But yeah, I haven't decided where to yet. Why are you moving to Europe, though? Well, I don't know. Why would you leave for a better place? So many reasons, right? Infrastructure, quality of life. Nice, one village goes down now for Villese. Overall, the EQKD has remained very, very low for the most part. We are 20 minutes into the game. The players are going after the castle age. Given how hectic the game has been and how much pressure we have seen from Villese during the field age, you would expect that to be a little bit higher, but it's still not too bad. Sitaux, while he ended up losing one extra villager, he does manage to go up to the castle age faster. He does manage to place a second TC foundation earlier as well, already. Depends on where you live in India. If you stay in the plains, you'll get 4 seasons. Germany is beautiful if you love bad weather. Non-existent hospitality, high taxes, and people who make sure you follow the rules. Oh boy. There's a lot of research left to do. Another villager goes down. Villese this time around. Bloodlines coming in for Villese as well. He's so much later to the castle age though. Sitaux, he is catching up in villager count already. By the time Villese manages to get a second TC up, Sitaux's already gonna start pulling ahead. Here we are. Nova clearly can't coexist with Hera. Oh, it's open though! It's open as Sitaux's coming in! He's got the knights! As Villese is trying to get the TC up over here, he will incur a lot of losses. However, gets the quick walls up. And now Sitaux's gonna have to leave. Although it's open over here as well. He could potentially have just roamed around and tried to come in, although Villese probably would have realized about the gap over there. Still some very nice villager picks over there for Sitaux. It doesn't need to be that many. If he gets just a few villages here, a few villages there, it adds up. And once again, because he's the first player to the second TC, he's already starting to pull a significant lead for himself. 7 extra workers. Left-hand side. We have knights coming in from Villese. He's trying to go for the counter push. But he cannot find any damage at all. Sitaux's got another stable coming up. This is going to be the second total. Meanwhile, if you take a look at Villese, on the other hand, Villese is already on 2 stables. But until he manages to get a castle and get Schlag the privileges, fantastic. And the game has stabilized. Sitaux kind of struggling to build onto his villager lead though. He managed to get 7 extra villagers and now he's given Villese plenty of chances to catch up. Take a look at the other TC town. Sitaux is prioritizing the military production over here. It's been so weird though to see this from the red player. It's another instance where Sitaux does not seem to really be committing to much of anything, and now he's going for a little bit of economy and a little bit of pressure. And if this does not work out against Villese right now, it's unlikely to work out in the later stages of the game once Villese manages to get a castle up, once he manages to get Schlachter privileges, once he manages to get a 3rd TC up over there and start pulling ahead. So Sitaux is kind of struggling to find the strat that's going to give him game number 3 against Villese. Je peux parler français, by the way, so that wouldn't be a problem. Germany was the option that we were considering, but learning German... I'm learning German, by the way. Seems like the language that's going to open up the most doors, besides the languages that I already know. So I already can speak Spanish, English, and knew how to speak Italian and French pretty well some years ago, and shouldn't be too difficult for me to brush up on those two. So German is the next one that's going to be the most... Well, it's not the next one that's going to be the most widely spoken. It's the one that's going to be the most widely spoken in Europe, right? So there are 5 languages that I should be able to choose from. That's not going to be an issue. Defensive castle gets denied! Oh lord! The camels start stepping on top of it. We have a lot of monks over here. Sitaux's got a beautiful, beautiful reaction to Vilese's castle drop. There you go. There you are. The issue was about the statement that you can manage in Brussels with English. I thought you were saying that there is no way that you're gonna be able to manage. Oh, right, yeah, Harfang said only English is fine. Yeah, well, it may or may not be fine, but it's not going to be an issue for me anyway. So you don't have to worry about it in any case. I feel like I missed out on information here. Are you going there alone or with family? Are you planning on studying there or will you be pursuing AoE full time? I will be moving. I will be moving. I'm planning, or at the very least, we are trying to move with my flatmate as well. But we don't know if that's going to be possible. In the end, if we can't go together, I'm going to go alone. But the idea is that we move together, and I'm not gonna be studying over there, like in university or anything like that. I already study here in Argentina, but it's not in a university. I study on my own every day. And I'm going to continue doing so no matter where I live. Yeah, but there's something that I'm gonna have to tell you guys in a little bit. I have some news. Remind me after this game to let you know, alright? Here we go. Yeah, this castle denial though from Villese against Sitaux was really good. He started pulling ahead in villager count, and once again this is what we were talking about a few minutes ago. Once Villese gets to the 3rd TC, once he gets a castle up, once he gets Schlachter privilege, it's going to be significantly harder for Sitaux to keep putting pressure, but he does still have some momentum though with a few extra military units. Congrats, Nova, if it is what I think it is. Nobody's pregnant, by the way. If that's what you think it is. You're switching to Facebook? No, 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 no. Nowhere near big enough for Facebook to make me an offer like that. There we go. Villese is able to stabilize. From this point onwards, it's going to be significantly harder for Sitaux to get any damage done. Villese has already put himself in a position where he is ahead in worker count. He has managed to equalize the military count. He does have the castle already up. He's got 4 TCs compared to only 3 for Sitaux, so from this point onwards, assuming that Villese is able to keep all 4 TCs working, it's going to keep on pulling further ahead in villager count. And for... there we are. And for, yeah, the polls, the longer the game goes, the better their economy is going to be. You can see that Villese is already trying to make the play for Folborg outside the Acropolis, which is what I was kind of worried about at the beginning, because there isn't really a lot of space up in the Acropolis, at the very least not a lot of clear space in the Acropolis, so I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to take advantage of it. But he has already cleared up some of the wool lines, and he's going for a bunch of extra farms over here, and it's overall not too bad. It's overall not too bad at all. Villese is already on 26 with workers. Castle drop at them from Sitaux. There we go. Villese reacts to this. He sends the monks over. It's unlikely that Villese will be able to deny this one, so he's just going for a defensive castle that would allow him to prevent Sitaux from putting any pressure from the left-hand side of the Acropolis. And PLA should be on the way for the red player very soon, though. Castle on the way now for Sitaux. He's going up to the Imperial Age. Villese is going up to the Imperial Age himself as well. Hey, Rosa! Hi, hi. Welcome back. I was thinking about you yesterday while doing my singing practice. I was like, how the hell does he manage to sing so well? It's so difficult. Second castle. Yes, behind the woodlands over here, and Vilese's reaction has been really good. He already transitioned the villagers over to the right-hand side. Another TC is coming up over here, so Villese should be able to pretty much ignore the castle for the time being. The TC will eventually go down, but this one is going to be there, so it's fine. And Villese is going for, yeah, just economy outside in the valley. Their castle on the way for Sitaux. I don't think he'll be able to place this one over here because of the farm. He's gonna have to relocate it. We'll see if Villese will be able to do anything against it, though. He doesn't really have a lot of stone. He's going for the night upgrades over here. It's kind of playing this one a little bit of Zilva's Arena, in a sense. Just going for all the upgrades first. He doesn't have any numbers, right? And then he's gonna start going for the actual units later. Oh, it is actually possible for him to place a castle over here. How is that possible, though? He is overlapping with the farm. He shouldn't be able to, right? I think this is bugged out. Yeah, I think that's a bug. The players should definitely not be able to do that. Here we go. Fantastic. Right hand side. Yeah, Sitaux is in a beautiful position. There we go. A lot of extra military units in Villese. Once again, spent a lot of resources and upgrades. Not a whole lot of units to actually work with. Seems a little bit like a mistake. Cherish is going down from Villese as well, so Sitaux has put himself in a good spot. He's got the Cavalier upgrade and he's going for Cavalier right now. Vilese's been going for Chain Barley Armor. He's been going for all the cavalry upgrades, right? There is nothing from Sitaux other than 4 Measly Monks to counter cavalry units. And Vilese's playing freaking poles. And he's gone for all those upgrades to start making a play for crossbows. I don't really get it. Sure, Sitaux might have lost one castle over here, but he's still definitely the one getting the most bang for the buck, so to say. There we go. A lot of extra villages going down. The Cavalier are just absolutely slaughtering Vilese's economy. What is going on? The Bull players should have been in a much better position, but take a look at this. Now 2 Cavalier are left to take so many villagers down. How many have gone down over here to these Cavalier? Already 15 villagers, and Villese is completely falling apart. The extra pressure coming in from Sitaux was enough for him to take this game from Villese, while it seemed as if the Bull player was in a better position earlier, or at the very least he was able to stabilize and he was gonna start pulling ahead. But Sitaux does end up taking game number 3 to get the final score over here of 2-1 in the series against Villese. Gets the set, and Villese gets a single win, a single point. Going for the achievements as usual, we'll see for military. A better KD for Sitaux, as well as a actually smaller economy for Sitaux, and this is why I was thinking that Villese should have been in a better position, right? His economy seemed so much stronger towards the end of the game, as he started going for extra folwarks and surrounding those with farms. And he was in extra villagers towards the end of the game as well by quite a lot. He struggled to make it work, despite both players getting to the Imperial Age at about the same time. Really well played, Sitaux. Flawless decision making over here, especially in the end.